living your lives. We're not African. We're not black. We're not Jamaican. We are from the 12 tribes of Israel. And this high time you ain't gotta sleep. Christianity is a damn sure. Christianity is a threat to our people.
This is reality.
That's right.
This is reality. We're gonna show you why. You have destroyed yourself. So we're supposed to give a warning. We're not judging you, we're warning you.
What have we seen anything? Have we seen anything that has changed our people? Changed our neighborhood?
Right? How long you knew you was Israel?
About 8 months.
8 months. And you burned on the Sabbath.
Hold on now. Watch this.
Uh-huh.
The goodness of the Most High is He drew me, and then I started like connecting myself with all kinds of truth. You know what I'm saying? Because I had kind of checked y'all out, and at the same time, you know, to be honest with you, there's some things I didn't agree with.
Like what?
You see what I'm saying? Like the chart.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and one of my questions is, show me in the Bible where other than Hebrew Israelites and Deuteronomy chapter 28, other people came, was in slave ships and was scattered through the four corners of the world. Show me in the Bible.
Northern Kingdom. Give me that. 2nd Ezra chapter 13.
Like European Cubans, European Puerto Ricans, Dominicans.
We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you. Because they were, for Christopher Columbus to show the Queen that his voyage was a success, he brought back slaves from the Dominican Republic back to Spain. But remember, the curses are redundant. Read this.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osias the king, whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the water.
He carried them over what?
Over the water.
So the 10 tribes of Israel went into cargo slave ships when they went into the Assyrian captivity. He carried them over the waters. To go over the water, you would need a what? For you to carry 10 tribes of the nation of Israel over to the Assyrian, they needed a what? A boat into slavery. Now watch this. Those same people, we're going to see where they went to when they got liberty to leave underneath the Persian Empire. Read.
And so they came into another land, and they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
So they went into a country where never mankind dwelt. You know about the Bible, right? 2nd Ezra tells you that 7 waters were gathered up in 2nd Ezra chapter 4. It says 7 waters were gathered up, letting you know the 7 great seas, and also the land that was dried up. The children of Israel knew that there was other continents out there besides Africa and those that were on the eastern side of the hemisphere. That's why when you do research on Christopher Columbus, he used this scripture to say that there's other land masses out there that we can go discover. And they said, oh, you're using the Bible. He says, yeah, Jesus Christ was a Jew. Why you don't believe Ezra that there was other people or other land masses out there? And he says, already 10 minutes you are a dead man.
Why do you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only 2 ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a 3rd way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
How can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. We are burning people for less.
But look at where they landed and what the scholars find out this name was. Read that.
Verse 42. That they might dwell, that they might there keep their statutes.
Remember, they went to a land where never mankind dwelt, and there they kept the statutes. That's why the Native Americans have fringes on their garments. Only the children of Israel will know that. The Mexicans, in all their clothing, when you go over there, they have fringes on their clothing. They're just missing a border of blue. When they digged up the tombs in the pyramids, what did they find? Block Hebrew of the 10 Commandments in America, in Central America, and in South America. Now watch this, read.
Which they never kept in their own land.
Give me the lost tribes of the promised land. Read on. I got it.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half.
So it took them a year and a half to get from where they was at by the Euphrates over to the Americas. And look what that region was called. Just a moment.
And the same region is called Osiris.
The same region is called Osiris. This is from a Jewish encyclopedia. We're going to find out what the word Osiris means. Read that, because we're going to define words.
They ain't call it America, they call it Osiris.
Now watch this. Read. This is from the Jewish encyclopedia. Read.
The Jewish encyclopedia. The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 5th Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 45. Columbus identified America.
What did Columbus do?
Columbus identified America with this land.
That's why he had a Hebrew translator when he landed on the island of Hispaniola. He knew the language the people were going to speak. He says, look, I stated my facts on finding that new land off of the Bible. I know it's the 10 tribes of Israel that's dwelling in the Americas. So I'm going to bring a Hebrew translator just in case. That's how he was able to conversate with him. Hold on. Now we're going to get a historical book. We're going to see what happened. This is from the Lost Tribes in Promised Lands. This is what happened when the Italian navigators, not only that, but when the conquistadors interrogated the Native Americans. Listen to what they said. Read.
The origins of American racism. Page 364. They told him.
No, from right here.
A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue, according to Montezuna's, which fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative.
Because when you read the paragraph above, he's speaking in Hebrew to them. He's like, how these people know this language? Now pay attention.
As is that of his 3 mysterious new companions. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
This is a conquistador speaking with the Reuben, the Native Americans, the Seminole Indians in Florida. He's speaking with them, and listen what they said.
And that the tribe of Joseph.
Read it from the top.
They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
So before the Native Americans were conquered, they say, yeah, we're from the tribe of Reuben. Read.
And that the tribe of Joseph.
The tribe of what?
Joseph.
Which is Ephraim.
Lived on an island nearby.
You got historical books and a book in the Bible proving who the people that were on this side of the earth already was. They were from the children of Israel. Now, if they got conquered and mixed with the conquistadors, but you are what your father is. No matter the color of what they look like, you are what your father is. So if the seed, give me that, Romans chapter 9 and verse 4. If the spirit bear witness and their father was Israel, they make the 12 tribes of Israel. God says, let the tares and wheat grow together. And that day we're going to find out whether or not they're the children of Israel. But they fit the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. They were put on cargo slave ships. Give me that book. It's the destruction of the Indies. It's about Hispaniola. They were put on cargo slave ships just like us. They were put on there first. Understood? You got another question before I bring out this scripture? Read that.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law.
So all that was given to the children of Israel. Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. neither because they are the seed of Abraham, or they are the children of the children, but in Isaac shall the seed be called.
The what?
In Isaac shall the seed be called.
The seed be called. Meaning the seed that he's going to call is going to go through what? Through the man. Because the man carries the seed. Read.
That is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of God, but the children of the promise.
The children of the promise, the seed that is counted for, read.
Are counted for the seed.
It's counted for the what?
Are counted for the seed.
So you are, whatever your father is, that's how you count if you're a children of Israel. Right. Read on.
Right. Verse 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son.
That was Isaac. Sarah had Isaac. He was the promised son. Because Ishmael was the firstborn of Abraham. But Isaac was the promised son. Read.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived.
Rebekah had 2 children, right? Which 2 children she had? Genesis 25. There they go right there.
Okay.
Jacob and Esau, right? Now, she had Jacob and Esau. You can put it back. Now, Jacob and Esau were 2 different complexion, right? 2 different nations. But did just because he was light, was he not from the children of Shem? Esau?
He was considered a Japhite, am I right?
No, he was considered a Shemite. He came from the line of Shem because he was the son of Isaac. Yeah, what I'm saying is just because they're a different color, because we come from the same line just like the Caucasian. They descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Exactly, that's the only thing that separates us apart. But it doesn't matter about skin color, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I got something for you.
All right, finish that off.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand.
And that's what it is, by the purpose of election. God chose the children of Israel. You are what your father is. Right. So if you suffer the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and your spirit bear witness, most likely you're a child of Israel, and you're going to come and congregate. The tares and wheat going to grow together. God's going to figure out that at the end when he separate the sheep.
Right. All right, all that's great what you shared with me. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
How come you don't see these people, all the way down for the rest of them, suffering the curses and the magnitude that we suffer the curses, getting shot down in the street?
Whoa. Yeah, go ahead.
Come on now. It's the curses, right?
Right.
The prison industrial system.
Bring that book.
Bigotry and economics, the hate and bigotry, and the system we live in as far as like financial industries and everything else. How come we don't see them, since they are supposed to be a part of us, suffering the magnitude of the curses that we suffer?
All right.
At the level that we suffer.
All right. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
I'm not trying to be consistent, I'm trying to learn.
No, the scriptures say debate your cause. It says iron sharpen iron. This is the only way we're going to learn. All praises. Read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, and then I have you read that. We're going to parallel the curses through historical facts. Let's go.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So God says he's going to bring the children of Israel into Egypt again with ships. So if your father was from any one of these signs, if he was African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, all the way down, he make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are God's chosen people. God did not choose everybody on this earth. Read on.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there,
once you got off them slave ships, what happened to our ancestors? What happened to our ancestors once we got off them slave ships? The Bible's going to tell you.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
The first commodity on the stock market. We was sold to our enemies. This happened in 1492. This happened in 1619. Which one happened first? Read that.
This is the book The devastation of the Indies.
This is the conquistadors writing what he was seeing during 1492 with the Spanish Crusade. Read that.
By Bartolome de las Casas. When page 72. When the Spaniards had killed all the chieftains and all the Indians capable of making war, they cast all the others into infernal servitude. And when the Spaniards demanded tribute slaves, they gave them their sons and daughters, the only slaves they had. This the Spaniards sent by shiploads.
By what?
By shiploads.
By what?
By shiploads down the coast to be sold in Peru.
This is when all the conquistadors came on this side. The first ship that landed in Hispaniola with Christopher Columbus, he took them back to Spain as slaves. They was like, there's another land out there. There's other people. And look, this is them. They said when Christopher Columbus came to the island of Hispaniola, they were playing with diamonds as if they were playing with marble. Wow. Now watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Let me know when you get it. Got it?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them.
So their sons and daughters were given to another people. We read it in verse in the other side where it says their sons and daughters were given as shiploads over and sold in Peru. This is another part of it. Read down here.
This is the book, The Devastation of the Indies, a brief account.
So you remember you said what happened to us, then it happened to them. Read that.
Page 32.
At the same magnitude. Watch this. Watch this.
Page 33. They attacked the towns and spared neither the children, nor the aged, nor pregnant woman, nor woman in childbed.
That sounds familiar, right? They didn't spare the old. They didn't spare the young. They didn't even care about the pregnant women. That sounds familiar, right? All right. Hold on. Read on.
Not only stabbing them and dismembering them,
They were cutting their arms and legs off. Same thing they did to us, right? Read on.
but cutting them to pieces as
They
if
did what?
cutting them to pieces as if dealing with sheep in the slaughterhouse.
Same thing they did to us, right? I'm hearing the same thing they did to the Hispanics. They did the same thing to the Negroes when they were part in 1619. Hold on. Read on.
They laid bets as to who, with one stroke of the sword, could split a man in two, or could cut off his head or spill out his internals.
So in 1619, they was trying to split us apart with horses. With this, they was trying to see if we could cut a man in half with one swing of the sword. Read.
With a single stroke of the pike, they took infants from their mother's breasts, snatching them by the legs and pitching them head first against the crags, and or snatched them by the arms and threw them into the rivers.
They did what?
Threw them into the rivers roaring.
You ever heard of gator bait?
Yeah, man, they did the most evil shit. Yeah, you ain't
So say, but you understand how you reading the same thing?
What's this now?
If I would have never said that they were conquistadors, you would have thought this was happening to black people.
Listen. I know Spain, along with the Roman Catholic Church, did the most evilest demonic shit on the planet. But what we're not including here is the Arab slave trade. The Arab slave trade started what, 400 years before America even got in the game.
Right.
But still, even the Bible say nobody experienced it like what Israel experienced, man.
Right.
The magnitude of what we went through as a people.
Right.
No other race of people.
Now watch this. This is how we could kill all that. Give me Genesis chapter, matter of fact, Isaiah 48. 48. No, it's not about killing that. It's about to show you how we know that the Hispanics were part of the children of Israel. During the sub-Saharan slave trade, yeah, there was a remnant of the 10 tribes over there, but majority of the northern kingdom was on this side of the earth already. Remember, they came here during the Medo-Persian Empire. That was before the Greeks. That was way before the sub-Saharan. That was way before the Roman Empire. So while that was going on, the children were on this side of the earth observing the laws of Moses. Now watch this. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 48.
Verse 46 and verse 10.
Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 10.
Pay attention.
Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done.
So he declared the end from the beginning. The word Genesis means what? Beginning. Genesis chapter 49 and read verse 1.
Bring it out.
Genesis chapter 49 and read verse 1. We're about to read a prophecy about two of the children of Israel. Read.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So before Christ return, he's going to let us know what's going to happen to us. Understood? So this is a prophecy. He declared the end from the beginning. So we in the beginning, jump down to Simeon and Levi. Read that.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren.
He's speaking about the whole 12 tribes, but he says Simeon and Levi are brethren. When you look at this sign, the so-called Haitians and the so-called Dominicans, pay attention, read.
Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
The word habitation means what? Dwelling, habitat, your home. It says Levi and Simeon are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Meaning Simeon and Levi will dwell what? Together. Read.
Verse 6. O my soul, come not thou into their secrets, unto their assembly. With mine honor, be not thou united.
It says, read that part again.
Be not thou united.
It says, do not be united, meaning they won't be seeing eye to eye. Are the Dominican and Haitian people seeing eye to eye? And that they're not seeing eye to eye. They got two different time zones. It's one island and it's separated down the middle. Read on.
Be thou not united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
Can you honestly say that the Haitian people fit the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28? All right. Give me Malachi chapter 2. Because it says Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their dwelling places. So once you find out who Levi is, you find out who Simeon is. Right. Understood? So who dwells in the same island? Is it the Hispanic people? So who are the Dominican people?
They got to be some Hebrews over there.
Exactly. So when you say that,
Bring it out.
I receive everything you.
All right.
But it's like, you know, it's still little glitches here and there that when I see it as a Hebrew, I see us getting shot down in the street, and I don't see other people getting shot down in the street. I see us being in prison on a level that is so damn demonic, but I don't see other people being in prison. Like, for instance, I mean, I'm not a racist or anything like that. I don't hate nobody. I ain't got the power that the Most High got to hate nobody. And, you know, everybody else getting all the jobs, you see what I'm saying, that come from, they giving all the jobs to everybody else. They ain't trying to give us no jobs. You see what I'm saying? Because of the hate. The Most High say, you'll be hated by all nations because of me. You see what I'm saying? We don't experience the hate that other people experience.
Zechariah 11 and verse 5.
But I know, listen, I know that's part of the blessing too. Because he said, in your tribulation, you know, you're going to get the blessing. You just got to hold on.
Right.
True.
Right. Let's read that. Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Because we usually see each other. We don't really worry about the northern kingdom of Israel as a people. We don't. They go through the same afflictions as us. We just don't consider it. Read that.
Zechariah 11 verse 5. Whose oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
What's that northern kingdom brother who got shot up by the cop? Junior got stabbed by his own brother. It's not put on the news as much because they try to make it seem as if there's a big separation between us. But the conquistadors, their symbol was the eagle as well. Right. Same thing with America. It's the same thing. They the same people. So the people that's oppressing them, they may look alike because you may say, yeah, there's Israel over there, but there's conquistadors over there as well. Yes, we agree. We're not saying that they're not over there. Just like they might be Edomites amongst us. You don't know if your great-great-grandfather was an Edomite. Understood? Because a lot of them was raping our women. So and their kids were coming out black. You ever seen Underground?
Yeah.
So that girl thought she was a slave, but according to the Bible, even though she was dealing with the same conditions, she was an Edomite. But she looked like us. Understood?
Because, I mean, according to what the words say, a person can look like they Israelite, but not have the spirit of the Most High. Because when I came out of churches, man, I'm trying to share this truth a little bit. The more truth I learn, the more I share. Man, let me tell you something, man. When you share the truth with somebody who got that Christian Constantine, Roman Catholic Church spirit, one niggas you like you crazy, and they call you a racist.
All right. Give me John chapter 11 and verse 35.
Black person calling me a racist. I'm like, come on, man.
Lucy.
You get a chance to read 2 Thessalonians chapter 9, verse 11, please.
2 Thessalonians chapter 9.
Chapter 2, verse 9 through 11.
Nah, not that one. John chapter. Let me see.
Black people calling me a racist.
He didn't die for that nation alone. There it goes right here.
49.
There they go. Start from right here. 49. All praises be that.
John 11 verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and not for the whole nation, that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
That were what?
Scattered abroad.
So this is during the Roman Empire. The 10 tribes were already over on this side of the earth. He's letting you know what Jesus Christ was meant for. The children of Israel will be scattered around. So there's Judites that are in Russia. There's Judites that are in Asia. We're everywhere. So think about it. You're going to be looking at a Russian thinking that they're a real life Edomite, but may be a Judite.
Right.
It's not about complexion, just to let you know.
What you saying is true. I don't research myself. You got black people in Mexico, black people in China, black people in Brazil, black people in Italy. Because even in James 1:1, he said, and 12 tribes he scattered through the 4 corners of the world.
Correct.
So I agree with you.
All right, but do you understand it's not about the skin color? Because think about it, right? Because my brother, his kids look like this. That's what his kids look like because of the woman he had a child with. He's not Israel. The woman that he married is not Israel. He had kids looking like this. Are those kids Israel? According to the Bible.
According to the seed, yeah.
All right then.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us, subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.